Hello. Really pray my people are having an amazing, blessed Friday. It is actually Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Hey, jokes. So we are looking for the market to gravitate to these relative equal highs right here. This will be our target, and I'll explain obviously the thought process behind our execution. Let's do it on the right, and we entered on time. 0612, expecting that to perform the function of a swing low. There's two things I'd love to occur within this current price action. First things first, I would love it to play potential power of three where it just opens and rolls lower to efficiently remove me. The reason I'm doing this is because one of my students wants to learn how to execute like this, and he wants to enter in and immediately runs in his favor and it runs to target and he has no drawdown. But you need to understand that there'll come times where you will misinterpret the marketplace. This could be a potential place for lower prices, which I wouldn't like to see. Obviously, I wanted to blast through here and target this high at exactly 0615. Just make an attempt for that high. Latest it can do it is 0618, but I do think we might do it at 15. But if you want to get executions where you're not, also by the way, we just sweep these lows. They're very easy. So we just sweep these lows. And targeting these relative equal highs. We have more relative equal highs here. We had beautiful executions yesterday as well. I think, yes, there we go. Beautiful executions yesterday as well, but we'll see if we can get a beautiful one here. But the goal of executing is, this is another place to potentially pyramid, but here we go. So the goal of executing is you want to get to a point where when you enter long or short, this is all that matters. You entered at the right time. It performed the function of a swing low, and the rest is up to the financial market and your perspective. There's nothing more you can do. There's nothing more you can control after that, because your desire to control the situation would be your downfall, because you will get it wrong eventually, and you're not perfect. You need to understand that. You need to get to a certain point in your perspective where you're not afraid to learn, and every mistake you learn is not, or you make, is not monetary. So there's a lot of people, you'll anticipate this to be a swing low, and this low should not be tagged, and we should begin to make potentially higher prices. Failure to do so will mean this is the swing high, and we will begin the potential power of three as expected, and this will be the high for the 6 to 7 o'clock hour, which will be preferred, but I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll see as a price begins to print. And that's the only reason I'm entering in here. It's because I have two theses where I'm in a time where we opened and spooled higher, not a potential power of three, but there's also an inefficiency in which it could drive price lower because the market is really, really heavy, and they could want to tag these in the PM or the AM session. And this is the reason for this, is because you need to not put yourself, but you are going to experience losing trades, whether you like it or not. You're going to, when you're studying my time concepts, you'll get to moments in time it did perform potentially function of a swing low. Not the best, but beautiful nevertheless. But you're going to get it wrong, and you're going to enter and you think the market will run in your favor, only for it to take out a swing low, only for it to completely disrespect your favor. And even everything is aligning, the universe is screaming go long. The market runs on uncertainty. It runs on it, it feeds on it, and your attachment to the outcome of that uncertainty will be your downfall, and you'll never get to a point where you can execute and not be anxious about the outcome. Because what you need to do over time is you need to build a nest egg. And please notice, I'm only used, if you look at positions, there we go, it's only $3, and when it hits target it's only $20, but it's a training wheel. You need to get to a point, because if you can do this can easily just add a zero. Always add a zero. This could be 1.2, 1.6K, always add a zero. And the reason for that is because you'll understand that over time, all you're doing is the same thing. And all that's going to change is your leverage, your contract, and your P&L, your equity. As it begins to increase, so does this. But you're always doing the same thing, 20 handles or 30 handles, or you're targeting relative equal highs or relative equal lows. And that's it. There's nothing more you can do other than that. And the only reason you are so attached to the outcome, the monetary value, and you can't handle drawdown because this makes you anxious, this makes you feel like you're going to get it wrong, it makes you feel that you're not good enough, is because you need to remember one thing when you're a trader. There's a brain that's working, and that brain is trying to protect you from pain, it's trying to protect you from stress, and it's trying to get you to a point where you are well aware of what you need to do to avoid stress, and it will try to make it as efficient as possible. So now, when you are in an execution and it's a losing trade, or you reach drawdown, your brain automatically jumps back to memory, because this could be interpreted as two things. Your brain has cognitive overload, meaning the task presented to you is more problematic than you'd like it to be. There's something you need to do, but you're not doing it, and it's stressing you out to a point where your brain needs to delegate tasks and say, okay, since your conscious mind can't handle this, which is the analyst and the trader, then give it to the gambler, and the gambler knows exactly what to do with it. And then now when you have such drawdown and you're in negative, and you finally realize that your trade won't play out and you're wrong, and even though you caught the swing low, you're dismally wrong, and you feel this unwavering level of anxiety, because when you're trading time concepts, you are not doing random. Nothing's random. So deep down, you know that you just need to do the right thing, and the outcome would be or should be positive, because you're entering right on time. You have spent the time to analyze, look at lows, look at highs, whatever you're doing, and you feel like the market owes you something. And when it doesn't pay you for it, or it shows you that, hey, you're not as good as you say you are, because if you're so good at predicting time, then why do you get it wrong? If you Mr. Rapid Repricing, if you're so good at this, why do you get it wrong? But it's because you can misinterpret it as an executor, and you need to live, eat, breathe that, because you are going to get it wrong. But this getting it wrong is it's not a depiction of your skill over time, because this is the most important thing you have to overcome, because this is where the lessons are learned. Where do you feel the most anxiety? Where do you feel the most fear? Do you change? Can you easily adapt? Can you identify signals and signatures that signify you're offside and you're wrong? Because the one thing we do is we always leave it to the gambler. Whenever we reach drawdown, or we're getting closer to a stop loss, we always have this unwavering anxiety that we are not good enough, or I can't do this, I can't do that, I dreamt of this, now all those dreams ain't achievable anymore. But that's not really true. You need to think about the bigger picture here. Your ability to survive over time. Try thinking in years, and you need to put yourself in a mindset where the money you make or lose, you won't eat it. That's what you need to do. So here you're not trying to make money so you can eat money. You're trying to make money so that you can make your ends meet, so that you can cover a certain expense, so that you can save up over time and build trust within yourself. Because all this is a game of trust. You just trust that over time it will work. I might get it wrong. I might misinterpret or enter at a swing low that's not applicable, that's not good enough. And don't pyramid. One thing you should not do, the reason you're so anxious, I believe, don't pyramid trades. Just put one trade and get it right or get it wrong, and then walk away. Sit in that. And if you can't sit in that, then you can't be an executor, you can't be a trader, because that's what it means to sit in uncertainty. You will get it wrong. Not random things will happen, but you will misinterpret it because of what's happening in your personal life. You might not catch the swing low, even though you know what times to execute, what inefficiencies to look at. You might have missed something relative to the economic calendar, and that might force you to, no one can force you to trade, but that might influence you into making an irrational decision. And you need to know that you are easily influenced. You too can be easily influenced. You too can be wrong. You too can fall victim to your own habits, fall victim to yourself, and you need to eat, live, breathe that, because that's a sign of you're growing. That's a sign of you know how to console yourself after a loss. The reason a loss feels so hard is because you know you will beat yourself up for it. You know, you'll know that maybe, let's say for example, you knew that you didn't enter on time. You knew that you rushed it. You knew that you formed. You know that you entered more contracts than you should. And every single loss that came to me as an executor was because of a loss that I was not willing to take. Like for example, if this is the loss, I came here today and I said only thing I'm going to lose is 0.9% of my equity. And if I just have this and I see this on my chart and I get efficiently removed via spread or via me making a mistake, or I move my stop loss more than I should, that makes me anxious, because now I'm changing my rules. I'm no more following my rules. I'm falling victim to my own demise because I wanted to perform the function. I don't want to follow the process, but I want the market to follow my TP. But you need to view the marketplace from this perspective. Your stop loss is a liquidity. Your TP is liquidity as well. So when you enter an execution, remove all your positions. Will be difficult because you've conditioned yourself so much to always trade. What you need to do, if you're still anxious about your executions, if you're still anxious about trading, if you still feel like losing or in drawdown hurts, or it's something that you have to avoid, it's something that's like a plague, you need to tape read. You don't have experience. You don't trust yourself enough. You don't trust the models enough. You don't trust the time concepts enough. You haven't been doing it long enough to pay yourself, for it to pay dividends, for it to change your life, because that's what it needs to do in order for you to believe. I think all of us as humans, we want to believe in something. And if we truly believe in our algorithm and the things we execute and the things we trade on, then, and if those things are true and correct, by default we'll make money, then that should happen. But sadly, it doesn't always. And you're going to fall victim to your personal life. People are going to make you feel like you're not good enough. And you're going to feel like you need to jump on these markets to feel good, to feel like you're good enough. It has to happen because of what someone else said in my personal life. It should happen because someone left me, or someone told me I'm not good enough, or someone told me that I'll never make it. So it has to. And I told people I'll be in an execution today. So it has to be a winning trade. And I have to show that. And if you have all these thoughts, what are you doing? You're bringing impulsivity. Or here it's, did you come in at a certain time? Did you mark the 3 previous highs and lows? Did you mark inefficiencies? Did you mark liquidities? Do you have a clear direction on whose money you're taking and why? At what time are you doing it? All these you're not proving yourself to anyone. You're just following a systematic process. And the only proof you have is the fact that you followed it. And if you follow it long enough, it will pay dividends. Because in trading, think of it this way, you get paid for following rules. That's it. You get paid for following. So every rule you break, you don't get paid for it, baby. You don't get paid for it. Never. And the market will steal money from you. You're paid. Because that's the market's goal. The market's goal is to take your money. It's to not make you a good trader. It's to not make you the best thing since sliced freaking bread. It's not. The goal of it is to take your money and break you and make you nothing but an incompetent executor that should have, could have, would have, but didn't. And that's the market's goal. And you'll spend your whole life being a should have, could have, would have trader. And you'll never overcome yourself. You'll never overcome your mental hurdles. And any disruption in your personal life, whether it's your boss, whether it's your friends, whether it's your family, whether it's a loss, whether it's a win, anything, it will affect you emotionally, and it will affect the decisions you make on these charts, and it will affect your ability to take a loss or to take a win. Because at the end of the day, you can't really control what happens. You know, I could be talking to you and I get a freaking heart attack, and God forbid that happens, of course, but that could happen, and nothing else matters. Literally, nothing else matters. So you got to think about the big picture. You will face a losing trade, and you need to know why. You need to understand where your losing trades form, so that you can not avoid them, so that you just don't find yourself in those market conditions, because that's your goal. Your goal is to become an efficient executor that does not waver when they lose, because losing or winning is not a depiction of their skill over time. And I keep telling you when I start every video that I'm anxious that when I lose in front of you, that will be a depiction of my inability to interpret my own models, and that's not true. That's experience, and that's why when I come here, I'm always picking my best ones or my best setups, the ones I feel the most comfortable with, that I don't have anxiety over, that just feel obvious, and I know where my losing executions form, and I know why they form, and I know how to handle drawdown because I'm not thinking about it going to my stop loss. If it efficiently removes me, I know what's wrong. I know what I could have done to improve it. I went long here, and the swing high was at 0614, and this was the best area using, and this was all not high resistance liquidity run, but it's a sign of heavier prices. This displaces lower returns back into 50% of the dealing range. And this, you only do that after it hits your stop loss or it hits your TP. But for now, you just keep studying as it makes its attempt for your swing and for your stop loss, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Like when you're in executions, when you're a trader, when you are trying to make money in this field, you're going to have losing trades. You're going to have them. You're going to have trades which are in drawdown, more drawdown, and you think, okay, my honest opinion, this is the final stretch. If we go any lower than this, then yes, I'm going to get stopped out. But I feel like this is a decent amount of drawdown for potential pop higher, and we've retraced into this inefficiency. We've balanced that already, and at 0630 we should begin spooling for that high, ultimately that. If not, 030 will begin spooling to my stop loss, and I'm wrong, and it's okay, and I misinterpreted the 6 to 7 o'clock hour. I wanted two things to happen. Personally, I wanted to be a high drawdown trade. You don't usually see this on my executions. I'm usually in on these or in on these, trying to catch the lows of the lows, but there are times where you'll misinterpret it. And there are times where I'll enter here thinking that this is the high, or it's going to start rapid repricing, only for me to miss this, or to miss something on the lower end that I can't find, and that's okay. You're only freaking human. There's nothing you can do. But you need to understand where your bad executions form, why they form, and how to navigate through them. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. Don't be afraid. You will get it wrong. You will. Trust me, I swear to God, you will. And when you do, don't beat yourself up. You need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your mind. Treat yourself like you're learning how to ride a bike. If you fall flat on your face, are you going to say you're stupid? Are you going to say you could have done this, you should have done that, why didn't you do this? Do you think that will influence you, or that will motivate you into wanting to ride a bike again? I don't think I will. If my teacher or my tutor told me I'm a dumbass nigga for trying to learn how to ride a bike, then I'm sorry, I won't work with you. But you need to encourage yourself, tell yourself to keep going, tell yourself that you are getting there, and try to always think of positive thoughts, because that's the only thing that's going to save you. No chart, no money can save you. It's only having a positive mindset and knowing where your weaknesses are, how to navigate through your weaknesses, and if you're wrong, you're wrong. If this performs the function of a swing high, and the next two candlesticks don't take it out, then we will get efficiently removed. But yeah, other than that, it is very important for you to know what a losing trade feels like, and to accept it, and you already know what it feels like. But the only thing that can save you is time. So take your L and walk away, and let time do the heavy lifting. And don't watch the impulses try force you into a trade. Watch how things in your life begin to randomly unfold, where you need more money than you thought you needed, and sadly you don't have it, and the only place you can get is from the financial market. And now those improper habits you built over time, where you sneak the trade in, where you over leverage just once, etc., etc., those thoughts begin to creep up, and those thoughts begin to multiply, and before you know it, you fall victim to them, and you become the worst version of yourself, and you self-sabotage yourself into mediocrity, and you stay there over and over again, and you never make more than 2 payouts, one in terms of withdrawals. You never really make the amount you initially believed you could, and you settle for second place, settle for third place, because deep down you believe you're not good enough, and you won't allow yourself the time to heal because you want it too bad, and that will be your downfall. You want it too bad. The only reason I couldn't handle losing trades was because I wanted it more than anyone. I really put in time, effort, energy, Just check my two previous examples. Those were beautiful. I love them. Those were very nice. I'm proud to have done those in front of you. But that's not a depiction of my self-worth. That's not a depiction of anything other than the time spent to fine-tune myself to a point where I can accept a losing trade at any given moment in time and understand why I lost and not fear the outcome of the loss, because it's just another day in the office. You will misinterpret it. You will. You're only human. You will be lied to. You will think people are being honest while they're being blatantly they're lying to your face, to their teeth. But you believe them because you either love them, you appreciate them. And that's the same thing you're going to do with the market. The market is going to sweet talk you into nothing, into believing that it must happen because of what's happening in your personal life. And since you've sit here, you've invested, and it's an inefficiency, it's within the time, or it's a 3-minute interval, now it has to. And when you get to a point where it has to, then you're wrong, and you never really focus on anything other. And this feels uncomfortable. Sitting in this, it feels uncomfortable. It feels like you're wasting time. It feels like you shouldn't be here. First of all, you shouldn't, because I'm Mr. Rapid Repricing. You'll notice most of my executions don't have this. I don't sit in this. I try my best not to. The worst trade I've been in here this year was 52 minutes. Jesus freaking Christ, that was the longest 52 minutes of my life, But you need to understand how you can easily get trapped in these price action, how you can easily lose yourself, and understand why. And when you do lose yourself, what could you have done to improve? And there's nothing more you can learn other than that. And if you keep focusing on whether the trade is going to be right or whether it's going to be wrong, it's because you just care about the money too much. Your personal problems are outweighing your conscious decisions. And when it gets to a point where you see drawdown, your brain subconsciously passes the message to your subconscious, and it passes the load, the heaviness of accepting the fact that you're in this reality. It passes it on to the gambler. And the gambler is stressed. He's experiencing stress because every time he sees this, he remembers when he lost 10 grand, when you made that losing trade, and this trade led you into drawdown, and all those bad memories begin to pile up because your brain is trying to avoid it. And what's the best way to do it? To lose everything so that you don't think about it. And then when you blow the account, you don't think about that losing trade anymore. You don't think about that losing execution anymore. You don't think you're not good enough anymore. All those thoughts begin to wash away. And the funny thing is, you need to sit with those thoughts and understand where they come from and defeat them one thought at a time, because you are going to get it wrong. You're not the best thing since sliced bread. You are going to get efficiently removed from the marketplace when you think you shouldn't because of misinterpretation. And there's nothing more you can do about that. And you need to understand that over time, you will get to a point where this doesn't hurt you, where this doesn't mean anything, where you're studying, why? When we got into this inefficiency and we began to displace lower, the last line of defense, heading into 630, beautiful run, or an attempted run higher, failed, and this candlestick did not take out that high, and we're dropping lower. And whatever the swing low at 36 forms, once that swing low gets tagged, then it's your stop loss, or this candlestick will efficiently remove us, and we will target these relative equal lows. And these highs might be targeted another time, and you maybe misinterpreted it. There's nothing. My goal here was to come and take a now. I promise, or take a trade that's in drawdown, because one of my students asked me, how do I handle this? And you just come back tomorrow. Just come back tomorrow and watch it. It's only $15. Why should it feel so heavy? Why should it feel like it's hurting? It's because you've hurt yourself so many times and your brain remembers. And when it remembers, it tries its best to suppress that, to forget it, to act like it didn't happen. And you're going to get stuck in that cycle over and over and over again until you forgive yourself, until you learn that you are good enough, that you are the best thing since sliced bread. And drawdown is not a depiction of your inability to trade. A losing trade is not your depiction of you not being good enough. It's just that you're not focusing on why is it going to your stop loss, because your stop loss is a liquidity. This is a liquidity, and this is the trader. This is the guy who analyzes and says, hey, this is what we're going to do when we're going to do it. And he did it here at Smart Money Reversal, where we're trading into this inefficiency only for it to roll low and efficiently remove you. And you need to sit in this. So tomorrow, I'll teach you how to overcome this and how to settle this, and be content with it, because it's not a depiction of how good or how bad you are. We could have easily reversed short. We could have easily, there's so many things you could have, should have, would have done, but you'll never know what those things are if you don't sit with this and call it a day. And you need to learn that sometimes the world will take from you when you don't want it to, and you need to accept it. The world will ignore you when you need help at the most, and you need to find inner strength within inside yourself to trust the principles that got you to wherever you are at that predetermined moment in time. And nothing is going to waver you into mediocrity. Nothing is going to waver you into settling for less than optimal performance. And you're just going to do it every single day. Every single day, you're going to be that person. And whether you lose or you win, you find courage, you find strength in your ability to follow the process, an ability to trust yourself, to trust everything that you've worked so hard to build. And over time, you will get good. And please note, I didn't use my model for today. The mark the 3 previous highs. I just used a simple one where we just swept lows at 0 o'clock and we traded higher back into 50% of that range. We have relative equal highs. That's it. Nothing much, nothing less. We executed at a 3-minute interval. Nothing more, nothing less, except making this to be a breakaway and expecting spooling higher, knowing very well that the first hurdle we had to cross was this inefficiency. Knowing very well that's the first hurdle. But anyways, this is very important lesson. It's one of my favorite. I really wish we could spend more time on such lessons, because this is where the rubber meets the road. Because when you experience this, where the person who taught you these things, or when you taught yourself these things, they don't work anymore, what are you going to do? Because your brain interprets this as, your conscious mind sees this as a losing execution where you got efficiently removed. But your subconscious mind sees this as, you're not going to eat today. You're not going to eat bread. You're not good enough. You keep talking so much about time, price, but look at your, get it back, re-execute, make money. All these impulsive thoughts just keep piling up. And because you never write them down and you never tackle them, you fall victim to them. And they force you into mediocrity. And you stay there. You stay there. And you become nothing but a mediocre executor. And you never outperform yourself. You never really get to that point where you trust your models, to a point where it does not matter if you make or lose money today. It really doesn't. You can spend 3 months without trading and still feel, you feel that obviously you're out of sync with the turning points, like how the market moves, etc. That you can get out of sync of. But you just don't feel like you need to be here. Right now, you feel like everything you need to be here, and every loss needs to be recuperated. Every trade has to have zero drawdown. You need to be at the swing highs and the swing lows. It's impossible. You're never gonna get. If you don't do that, which is accepting a loss, you're never gonna get to the point where you execute at the utmost of efficiency, where you're getting in at the swing lows, out at the highs. You're getting in at the lows, out the highs. You're not gonna do that because. And notice, how do I know my trade is deliberate? Notice my executions. Whenever I enter, we always rapid reprice in one of either direction. When I enter, we rapid reprice in one direction. After my execution, what did we do? We open, execution, and we rapid reprice in one direction. It's not in your favor. It's efficiently removed you, but that's not the point of the conversation. But this is how I handle drawdown. I just take it and walk away. Come back tomorrow. There's nothing more I could have done, should have done, would have done. I did everything in my power to enter based on what I thought was going to occur. I did everything in my power to try and understand what's the first point of invalidation. And once that first point of invalidation, I track that as a potential entry short. And I study points in which I could pyramid short, targeting my stop loss, which is liquidity. And you're studying that because that's the only way for you to stop focusing so much on the money and just sit in this. It's just $20 freaking, and if you can't do this, then do it in paper trading. I mean, with tape reading, which is what we're going to focus on tomorrow. That's how I'm going to show you how to overcome this. and really sit in it. First, you have to sit in it. You have to take a loss. You have to, whether you like, you have to take a loss, and we'll take it from there. I will be back later on in the session, latest on next week. But this is a beautiful, beautiful execution in and of itself, and I'm proud of me. I can't wait for tomorrow's trading day. This was a beautiful execution, and reverse all my philosophy here and go short, I would have made money, would have made money. And there's no need for me to dwell in that mindset of should have, could have, would have. I'm the best thing since sliced bread. Literally, there's nothing more you can say about that. There's literally there's no other way to encourage yourself except how you know how to encourage yourself relative to your own experiences. I believe I'm the best thing since sliced bread. I believe everyone is special. And if everyone dives into this and why they can't sit with it, then and only then will they understand how it affects their personal life, how it affects their trading, and why you can't take an L. Because the only reason you can't take one is because you are so fixated on the outcome. You're so fixated on making back, making money, proving that all your hard work is worth something. And you don't allow time to be your proof. You want leverage to be your proof. You want contract size to be the proof. You want how long you hold it to be the proof. That shouldn't be the proof. The proof should be your ability to do the same thing over and over and over again without fail. And also, when you're doing that one thing, you should do it not in a state of ignorance, not in a state of where you're doing it so that you can just do it, because you're going to fall victim to delusion. Because if you believe something long enough, it's either going to be a fixed discipline that guides you into success, or it's going to be a trap that forces you to live in delusion. So you need to understand, what are you studying, where are you studying it, and what's the point of studying what you're studying. And the best thing you can study is your losing trade, because if you just did the opposite of everything you did, you're going to make money. So study the opposite of everything that just occurred relative to your price action. Everything, just look to the left and you'll see it. It's an inefficiency. It's the retracement was far deeper. You probably, the best option was to wait for post 30 minutes, and you note that relative to the hour you're studying, and personally, I do really want to stay and see if it can tag most probably this high. I want to see if it's going to make an attempt to do it in the macro. If not, then it's okay. I'll just call it a day, because this is a very nice topic. It's very nice. It's a beautiful example where we enter long at the highs, got efficiently removed only for it to run potentially in our favor. And this is where frustration builds, because you wanted it to work so bad. And now that it's not, and the rule says don't go in again, oh my God, it's a sign. It's a sign I should leave you guys. Thank you guys so much for blessing with your ears. And I will see you guys again, same time, same place tomorrow, Monday. And then we will tape read a beautiful execution on how to overcome this, how to accept this, know where it comes from, know how to avoid it, and what are the pitfalls you would face if you keep allowing this to cloud judgment, and you keep dwelling in the fact that you lost money, but you didn't. You just executed right on time. It performed the function of a swing law, and nothing more you could do. But thank you guys so much.